Columbia's local FM talk radio experience. The Point.
Now at 100.7. It's time for Success in Real Estate with Frankie Griffin, owner and broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, certified residential specialist, accredited buyer representative, military relocation professional, real estate appraiser, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or having your home appraised, you will enjoy Success in Real Estate. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I am Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and appraiser. Thank you so much for listening this morning. I know I'm still a little bit hoarse, but I am so much better than I was last week. Thank goodness. I'm going to get over this stuff. I will. And I'm going to be doing pretty good here and probably right after lunch, maybe. Something like that. Now, Brian, in fact, I should ask you this before we started the show, but did I hear we're supposed to get a lot of rain starting? When's that rain start?
Rain starts this afternoon, I believe, and it's going to carry on throughout the weekend.
Did I hear flooding as a potential?
I don't know about flooding.
I thought I heard Kevin say it was supposed to flood. But, it's gorgeous outside right now. So I hope you're right. Well, actually, I hope you're not right. I'd kind of like to have a little warmer, sunny weather. It's about that time now. But whatever it is, and it's going to be just fine. But, we want to help you if you're in the market of either buying or selling real estate. That's our objective. That's what we enjoy doing. And I think one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about today, and this really came about because Chris Turner, and for those, and a lot of you know Chris, he's been on the show here several times with me. But Chris Turner, he owns Turner Properties. He does a lot of property management all over the Midlands and does an excellent job. But he was actually in my office yesterday. We were talking about several things. And one of the things we were talking about is how crazy rent prices are. I mean, if you're renting right now, the rent's crazy. It is absolutely insane how high the rent is on some of these properties. In fact, most of these properties, for that matter. And to expand on that, I guess, he was saying he's got a client, which is an investor, has now started buying brand new homes, brand new. In fact, he closed on one just this week, a brand new home to rent out. Can you imagine that? And he's doing that because the rent is so high. The demand for rent is so high. So they can actually making more money by buying a brand new home and then rent it out. That's just, to me, I never really give that much thought. In fact, it seems contrary to what you would typically consider to be a good idea to rent out a brand new home. But that's what they're doing now. For a few reasons. One, there's very few rental properties, or there's a shortage of rental properties. And when you have that, that's going to drive the rent prices up. And when you think about it, you could actually purchase that same property and your monthly payment will likely could be several $100s less than what the rent would be. And that's not even counting some of the tax benefits to owning versus renting. So, I just think it's a no-brainer to maybe look at buying if you can do that. And I understand a lot of people are in a situation where they just can't buy it right now, and I understand that. But we'll talk more about that part in a little bit. But what I do want to get into is the opportunity right now if you're thinking about investing, because I hear that all the time. In fact, we have people coming to our real estate school wanting to get their real estate license for the sole purpose of wanting to start investing in real estate. And in fact, I had one of my students last night telling me that that's exactly why he was getting his license, to be able to purchase property. He planned to rehab some of them and sell or flip them. but he planned on keeping a lot of them and renting them out because the rent is so high right now. Well, there's so much opportunity there. And I understand this is not for everybody, but I've asked Joseph, and if you've been listening to this show much at all, you know Joseph, that's my son, but, he bought a house, what was it, 2 years ago?
2 years ago in April.
2 years ago. And now, Joseph, if you're being honest, you were cursing me when you looked at that house.
Absolutely. It was between the house that I'm in now and another one. And the one I'm in now was very far second from where I wanted to be.
And the only reason that was second because there was no other options at the time.
There was no other options.
But it was not a pretty sight. I'll be the first to admit. And I will tell you, and it was not even close to being livable. You could not live in that house in the condition it was in. But I got to tell you, but this is what you got to be able to do. You've got to be able to put aside the ugly. You just got to ignore it, and then take a look. What would it take to rehab it, renovate it? And I'm sort of doing some roundabout numbers, but I think it'd be pretty close. But, I think we bought that house for around, what, 60?
We bought it for 60.
60,000. And it needed a lot of work, and it did. And a lot of it we did ourselves, but a lot of it we had to have contractors and stuff come and do because building houses is not necessarily our forte. Selling them is a little bit different. But building and the construction part of it was a little bit different because you actually even went in because we were doing such significant work. We took a house that had a bath and a half and converted into 2 full baths. Mm-hmm. That was a huge help.
Oh, yeah.
And that created a ton of value. But all that to say this, you owe considerably less than $60,000 on it right now. Mm-hmm. But it would appraise today for probably around $130,000. And I'm guessing we probably put $25,000 in it. But a lot of it we did it along and along. And quite frankly, you're still doing some stuff. But it is very nice.
Oh yeah,
it's very livable. It's very nice right now. And so what Joseph was able to accomplish here was to actually own a house, and it was his first house. And he's got a lot of equity in this house. And I'm telling you, that's the key to success, and it's the key to building wealth. It's the equity. And, I won't say it was instant equity because it was sweat equity.
Oh, yeah.
And, for the first year, it was a lot of hard work. It was not easy. But probably after a couple of months, we had it where you could live in it. Mm-hmm. And you've been living there ever since and working on it. And now I did notice once you got married, you picked up on the pace on getting this thing fixed up.
Oh, yes.
Yep. All right. But anyway, we want to talk more about how to succeed with investing and maybe looking for a fixer-upper. But we'll be right back with some more success in real estate.
Talk Radio Experience. The Point.
Now at 100.7 FM and 1470 AM.
All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and appraiser right here in South Carolina. And, we've been talking about rehab, and we're going to really get into some of the things that Joseph actually did in this house, which I got to tell you, the house looks amazing right now. Again, still a few things to do here and there, but it's getting there, and it's really, really nice. Now, we've got right now on the phone lines our mortgage go-to gal, Miss Erica West with Lending Path. Good morning, Miss Erica. How you doing?
Good morning on this little chilly morning.
Oh, it is nice out there today. It is nice. I don't know if you were able to listen to the first segment or not, but
I did not.
Oh, Miss Erica.
I know.
Quit doing the loans just for a minute.
Okay, I know. Well, I don't know if my clients would like that.
Yeah, I know. No, you got to keep doing what you got to do. But what we were talking about, Joseph, and I've got him helping me this morning here on the show, and we were talking about him, buying this. It was just a nasty house. It was a nasty house, and today it's a gorgeous home. In fact, and I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying this, but you'd be shocked at the neighbors right after we bought it that would come by and even call in the city on us. I say on us, on Joseph, because it just looked so bad. The yard was in such bad, so much. And today, it's probably one of the nicest homes in that entire neighborhood. It really looks nice. And of course, you, Erica, helped him be able to do that. And, there are some different requirements when you're buying a property, I assume, that's in such bad shape you can't even live in it. Is that true?
Yeah.
So how does, so what are you looking at here? Is it special type financing to be able to purchase a property in that condition?
Do you remember, this was only a couple years ago, but, although that house was needing some TLC, mostly the bones were good, right? The structure was good.
Absolutely.
So in that case, it really it needed some attention, and it needed a little bit of hard work. And so in that case, a conventional loan worked, right?
Yeah, it did.
It worked, and we did it. We were concerned for a little bit, weren't we, Frankie?
Oh my goodness.
We were worried, but in this specific situation, it checked off all the boxes required for conventional financing, so that Joseph could get in there and clean up the yard and throw everything out and do all his upgrades and repairs and work and make it the beauty it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes if you find a good house that you have to use a little bit of creativity and imagination to dream of what it could be, but everything else is basically sound. It's just been neglected, and that was the case of that house. It's just been neglected. And
and that's an excellent point you bring up, and I didn't say that earlier. But obviously, we were looking for something that was very sturdy. So really, as bad as it looked and smelled, it was just cosmetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all it was. So usually, if it's just cosmetic, you can get a conventional loan on the property. Now, you may not be able to get any kind of government financing, but you should be able to get a conventional loan.
Yeah. And it all worked out. And I'm, obviously proud of my son because, he's sitting there now with, a lot of equity for his age at this point and did a good job. I'm still doing a good job with it. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. But so, these markets, the stock market going crazy because you're raising interest rates.
That's right. It's all me.
Yeah.
I wish it was. I would just push it down a little bit more.
Well, is it going up? I heard it was coming back down some, but
they're kind of ping-ponging a little bit. You mean we had an improvement in pricing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, we may have seen, bips come down and maybe 1/8 of a point here, or it wasn't expensive, that kind of thing. I'm interested to see what the market's going to do today.
Well,
I'm
who knows?
very, very interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they're ping-ponging. This is not a time to, I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. This is not the time to have 7 lenders pull your credit. Because by the time you get back to that rate that could have been originally quoted could be gone.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And to me, and I'm not just saying this because I'm in real estate, but to me, this is one of the reasons why I think investing in real estate is such a good idea. Not that real estate can't obviously crash like it did a few years ago or go down, but it is typically not nearly as volatile as the stock market.
Exactly.
And the next thing is, even if the home values do go down, they're going to come back. They always have, and they've usually gone up much higher than they were before they went down.
As long as you're making wise financial decisions during these times,
mm-hmm.
and you're not being risky, which that means no, adjustable rates, no interest-only loans, those types of things.
Yep.
Regardless of we have inflations and deflations, you should be able to, within the things that you can control, maintain your lifestyle.
Yep.
And that's where we got lost last time.
Okay.
People were living like it was never going to go away.
All right, well, here, and I'm trying to get several things in while I got you.
Go for it.
A lot of people, have been living in their home for quite a while now. They would like to get some, updates, remodel, if you will. But sometimes just having the cash on hand to do some of these updates might not be an option because we don't have the cash. Is refinancing, assuming we have equity, but is refinancing and then cashing out some money to do some remodeling, is that an option nowadays?
Yes, of course. And there's a lot of ways to go about doing it. You can do a traditional refinance if you have enough equity in and take the cash out and do the repairs yourself.
Yep.
Or you can look at a rehabilitation loan to refinance your current mortgage to include any of the repairs that you want to do. And that seems to be the most popular one.
Now, that's different than a construction loan.
It's different than a construction loan, but it has some similarities.
Okay.
Some similarities in the sense that there's a draw schedule and that there has to be a general contractor on the project. But it's different in the sense that a construction loan is interest only during the construction period.
Yep.
When you get a rehabilitation loan, you're paying principal and interest, taxes, insurance, everything from the get-go.
Now, is that,
so you're locked into that fixed rate.
So is that so if I got two payments now, or is it going to refinance it all into one payment or
you
one loan?
refinance it all as one payment.
Okay. See, and and a lot of people I would think are in that situation. And if they rehab the right things and don't go in there and start outbuilding the neighborhood, you don't want to be the biggest and nicest in the neighborhood. But typically, that's money well invested. You're going to get that back.
Yes.
So
if you do the right thing.
Yeah. So it works out pretty good. Well, Miss Erica, I can't thank you enough. How can we get in touch with you?
You can reach me at 803-528-5019. You can email me at erica@learningpathmortgage.com, or you can find me on Facebook. Just search for the Mortgage Go-To Gal.
You're the best. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. And if you couldn't capture information, if you just go to my website, frankiegriffin.com, click on the real estate partners, and you'll see Erica West and all our real estate partners are right there. They all do an awesome job. So that was really some good information there from Erica. If you've been living in that house and it's a little bit dated, you got some options right there. And I'm going to tell you, interest rates are still very low. They're very low. I mean, you're talking maybe 4, possibly 4.5%. And some people saying, oh, well, that's high. Well, not if you go back a few years where it was 8, 9, 7%, something like that. So it's still very low, and really good time to really try to make some improvements and things of that nature. Now, I want to go back to Joseph's house for a little bit. But Joseph, if you recall, when you walked in that house, it didn't smell very good at all.
It did not. It just hits. It's like somebody slapped you in the face. That's how bad that smell. Oh yes, it was. It wasn't pleasant, but you just wanted to walk straight out and be done with that house and not even give it a second look.
Well, what was the first thing that caught your eye when you walked in? I know you're talking about.
It was just bold green. It was probably like a dark green carpet, and it was dirty. It was nasty.
Every kind of stain you can imagine.
Anything you can imagine.
And I will tell you, that's the kind of stuff that will keep somebody from even going in the house.
I didn't want to walk in anymore. I remember my dad was there, and that's the reason we kept, we'll give it a chance, look around the house. You have to see improvement.
Yep. But you pulled the carpet up, and what was there?
These nice hardwood floors, what we have now. All we had to do was just polish them up and finish them up, and it was amazing. It took about 4 days, though, just to pull up that living room carpet.
Well, but it was a gym right underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff you got to be able to look past the ugly to see what the property has to offer. And that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do to try to help you. Especially if you're a first-time buyer, and even more so if you're single. Now, I got to tell you, if you're married, a lot of wives do not want to live in a house under construction. I get that. I understand that. But I got to tell you, when you're single and buying your first house, I mean, this is an excellent opportunity to build significant wealth through the equity, and that will help you tremendously for the rest of your life. So are you going to start off on the right foot, or are you going to be like so many people and start off in just huge debt? You've got little to no equity. All you have is debt. And it is so hard to try to overcome that. It is so hard. But by making some of these sacrifices at the beginning, you can really create a path for success, and it will carry you. I'm assuming as you make good decisions, do the right things, it will continue on for the rest of your life. But anyway, we're going to continue on. We got more to talk about. Love to hear from you. 799-8255. Be right back with Success in Real Estate. All right, good morning again. Welcome back to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and appraiser, with Joseph also in studio. But on the phone lines, we've got South Carolina's favorite attorney, Andy On, with On and McKay Law Firm. And if you have any questions for Andy while he's on the line, if you want to call in and ask a question, number 799-8255. Again, 799-8255. How you doing this morning, Mr. Andy?
How you doing, Brother Frankie?
Oh, I am so fine today.
You sound a lot better, and when I saw you the other day, you looked a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as good as you can look. You know, you and I have some natural limitations in how good that can be.
Well, I look good. I look good.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. There ought to be a fragrance named after you.
Yeah.
Frankie by Fabergé.
That's it.
How you doing, Bubba?
Oh, we're going to get by. You know, it's gorgeous outside right now, but Brian said it's going to be storming.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough weekend. I tell you, the fog was something coming in, so be careful out there on the roads. Frankie, just really enjoyed being in your slam-packed class yesterday. Had an opportunity to speak with your real estate agent class yesterday, and I'm telling you, that thing was standing room only in there. It was really you were loading them in. It was a great class. One of the things we talked about yesterday, I think, is so important that a lot of real estate professionals, I think, sometimes miss, is that the term due diligence is a broad term. Okay. It's a term that not only includes what would normally be considered the conventional inspections and kicking the tires and doing the things that you'd normally do, like termite letters, HVAC, this kind of thing, but it also involves suitability of property. And one of the examples I like to give is that if somebody mentions in passing that they may want to put a pool in, and but they don't write anything in the contract about surveys or about pools or anything like that. And what ends up happening is they let that 10-day due diligence period run, or whatever period of time has been defined as due diligence, and then they pull the trigger and they realize, we can't put our pool in. We don't want to put a pool in over some underground utility line, so we better get a survey done.
Yeah.
Well, at that point in time, if something comes back from that survey that's not, that's not good, and that would prevent them from putting a pool in, all of a sudden they got a problem because it wasn't anticipated by the real estate professional or by them that a survey should have been done to ensure that that's taken care of. There are an awful lot of contingencies that ought to be included in the contract, and one of the ones that I like to include is that a survey being obtained by the buyer at buyer's expense to the satisfaction of buyer. that is a standard contingency that I add in the other contingency section of that contract to make sure that, okay, you know, we have the right to have a survey. We have the right to get that survey and make sure that it's satisfactory to us, and that contingency is going to last beyond whatever due diligence period of time has been defined in the contract. So important. But we had a good conversation about it yesterday, and I think that it's important for all real estate professionals to kind of keep that in mind, that due diligence includes some things that you wouldn't normally consider to be part of due diligence. So we're going to hopefully have a good seminar on that coming up in the next couple of months. We got a great seminar coming up next Thursday. It's a lunch and learn, and last Friday we talked a little bit about that. Got our friend Tiffany Sowards with Stage to Sold Realty is going to be allowing us to host this event at her beautiful listing there in Columbia. It's 361 Rutledge Drive in Columbia. Call Haley in my office. Haley is my new marketing assistant. Say hello, Haley.
Hey.
Haley is here today. She wanted to say hello to you, and I wanted to take an opportunity to introduce her. She's got a lot of good legal experience, and we're really excited about having her on board. We miss Carol. Carol moved back to New Orleans, so we wish her the best of luck, but so excited about having Haley here, particularly with her experience, and she's hit the ground running over here. But call Haley at 744-0824 to RSVP for next Thursday's lunch and learn. We got barbecues going to be served, and it's going to be a great seminar on Tax 101 for real estate professionals. Wade Miles, who's a local CPA, is going to be involved, and I think there are going to be a lot of good tips on things that real estate professionals can take advantage of from the new tax law.
Well, this is the time of the year, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. 'Tis the season, right?
Oh, my goodness. I'm dreading it. But yeah, yes. Well, Andy, I can't thank you enough for calling in. And,
yes, sir.
Haley, I look forward to seeing you at the school soon.
Same here.
Okay.
Thanks, Frankie. Hang in there, buddy.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Again, Andy Allen, he's an attorney here in town, does a lot of real estate closings. But the big difference between Andy and some others is, Andy's also a trial lawyer. So he doesn't just sit behind the closing table giving advice. He knows how this stuff plays out in a courtroom. So very interesting to hear his perspective on a lot of things. And again, if you couldn't get his information, you can go to my website, frankiegriffin.com, and just click on real estate, on real estate partners, and you'll see it right there. Okay. Back to the invest. Oh, and the other thing I want to do, I do have, and I'm going to give this away. I've got a $25 gift card to Texas Roadhouse. If you've been listening to the show, you know I love Texas Roadhouse. And just a suggestion, obviously you can eat anything you want to there, but you've got to try the roadkill. It is so good. It's just, to me, it just seems like you find one plate that's just really good, and it's hard to order anything else anytime you go, or it seemed like to me. And I know Brian's already tried it out. He ate half a cow or something like that. But anyway, I've got this gift card, $25, Texas Roadhouse, and I'm going to give it away to my number one listener of the show. And my number one listener will be whoever the number one caller is calling in and asking for it. So give me a call, 799-8255. Again, 799-8255, and I'll be more than happy to give you this gift card. All you have to do is just call in, and we'll take care of you. Okay. Well, we were talking about, most of the show, we've been talking about investing. And, investing is not just buying so you can rent it out or flip it. Anytime you buy real estate or a capital asset, which is real estate, that's an investment. Mm-hmm. You're making a huge investment. In fact, it's usually the most money anybody will ever spend at one time on an investment. And you really need to have somebody or preferably even a team that can work with you. And that's what Joseph and I both do. We work together as a team, whether you're buying a house or selling your house. But if you're looking at buying a house, we like to help. We're not going to tell you what house to buy. That's up to you, obviously. But we've got enough, experience to be able to bring up things, throw some questions out there, make sure you're informed. But, Joseph, when we're showing houses to buyers, one of the things I've noticed, and I'm sure you have too, is, you never really have people just buying or wanting to go look anymore. So, let me back up. They want to go look, but they're not asking us to go look for properties. You notice that? Most of them, they have already what they want.
Mm-hmm. The past couple clients I've worked with, it's got a list. I want to see these 3 houses, and that's it.
Well, yeah. So, because they find it online is the key. So if buyers are looking online, then, you've got to make sure, especially if you're selling, the house has to look, the pictures, because that's what they're looking for. And of course, you're our photographer, and you've been doing this for quite a while now. But you know how to make the pictures not look unreal or try to make it look different than it really looks, but where you get a clear shot, where you can actually see the bedroom, not just a corner.
Oh yeah, and photography is, I think, one of the top keys selling. Because we'll talk about that on the other.
Yeah. Well, we do have a winner, and we'll talk about who the winner is. But we do have to take our break. Be right back with some more Success in Real Estate.
Here's Frankie Griffin with your weekly featured property on Success in Real Estate.
All right, welcome back to Success in Real Estate, and this is our featured property segment. We've actually got a couple properties that I think are really, really nice. And Joseph, if you'll tell, what's the first one we've got?
One of the first properties we got is located in Lexington over there in Governor's Grant. It's an extremely beautiful home. Very spacious. It's got close to. I'm trying to find where it was. I lost where I was. But anyway, it's got around 3,300 square feet. It's extremely spacious. It's got 5 bedrooms, 3 full baths, and 1 half bath. It's got a clubhouse with tennis courts and a pool, a very nice backyard.
Is that a community clubhouse and pool?
Community clubhouse,
okay.
Yes. It's very nice. Just the neighborhood is extremely nice.
What neighborhood is that?
It's Governor's Grant.
Governor's Grant. Very, very. Of course, if you live anywhere around Lexington, you're obviously very familiar with Governor's Grant, and I'll tell you, it is a very nice home, and gosh, how much land? You remember, close to an acre or something like that.
It was close to an acre. Yeah.
So it's really nice. And how much are we asking for that one?
We're asking right now $439,900.
And I'm going to tell you, and now that's pricey for most of us anyway. But I got to tell you, that's a lot of house for that money.
Oh yeah.
So it's a very, very nice deal. We'd love to show it to you. That's something you're interested in. But we just listed another one here about 2 days ago.
Yep, and that's on Saycut Road, right over there by Hammond. I think
by Hammond Academy.
Yep. It's literally a walking distance away.
Yep.
It's extremely nice as well. It's just a little bit under 2,000 square feet. It's got 3 bedrooms and 2 full baths and 1 half bath. And there's a bonus room that, you could make it a bedroom. You could make it an office. Really, there's a lot of potential in this home, and right now we're asking around $230,000 for that. Yeah,
and it's sort of behind the VA hospital, but again, like Joe said, walking distance, literally walking distance to Hammond Academy, and it's one of these areas. What was that? Hampton Woods? Was that the name of the? But it's one of these areas that houses are just go so fast. So if you're looking in this area, this is one you don't want to wait. You probably don't even want to wait till Monday. Give us a call. We'd love to show it to you. And we expect this house not to last very long at all. And what was it listed for?
$230,000.
230, and which is very well priced for this particular property. And then one last one I wanted to bring up real quick. It's actually land, but it's commercial land right off of Broad River Road, near the intersection there of Broad River and Kennerly. It's almost 4 acres. It's 3.9 acres, and right on Broad River Road. So if you're looking for a commercial property, I think this is going to be a really, really good spot because it's really growing out in this area. It's really taking off, and right now, well, I won't even go there. We got to save a little bit of time. But anyway, the price on this one is just $450,000 for almost 4 acres of land on Broad River, right there where everything's going on, right there at Broad River and Kennerly. So really nice opportunity there if anybody's got any commercial ideas. Okay. We did offer to give away this gift card for Texas Roadhouse. And Daniel called in, so apparently Daniel was the first caller, and obviously the number one listener of Success in Real Estate. And Daniel, we thank you so much for that. I'll be getting this in the mail to you today, so hopefully you can take you and your sweetie pie out to dinner on me. We look forward. We look forward to you having a great time there, and you will. All right, so I know we got a few minutes left, but I want to go back to this investing, because it's such a big deal, and we want to see people get off on the right start. We don't want to get you upside down. We want to make sure you've got plenty of equity, and we're going to help you with that. But we were talking about, just as an example, this house that Joseph bought almost 2 years ago now. Some of the things we talked about, the carpet just made the house look bad. It smelled awful, which in itself is enough to keep people from even going in and looking at the house. But right below it were gorgeous, gorgeous hardwood floors. They've been refinished. They look really nice. And, the other thing that we noticed in this house is probably most of the walls, which were sheetrock, drywall, had holes in them.
Oh, yeah, just about every single one of them.
And when I say a hole, I'm not talking about a pinhole.
No, gaps.
I mean, it was huge holes.
Yep.
So that doesn't look good. But I got to tell you, that is such an inexpensive fix. It's just cosmetic, and you can fix stuff like that so easily. But while we were in there really just tearing out some of the sheetrock, especially in the master bedroom, and at the time the master had a half bath, there was plenty of space there to add a tub shower combo, and we did that.
Oh yeah.
So now we've got 2 full baths.
And also it used to be just 2 beds, 1.5 baths, because that one room in the house was a dining room that we wound up closing off from the kitchen.
Yep.
And now it's a more traditional 3-bed, 2-bath.
Yeah. And you still have a dining room.
Yeah. Still have
there.
A good dining room.
So it was really more like it was kind of weird. It was like 2 dining rooms there. But anyway, it's a very nice house now, and he's got a lot of equity in it. And that's what we want to do to help you. Now, the positives, in fact, Erica brought this out, it was solid. That house was solid. And of course, especially with it being older, the wood they used back then this wasn't a traditional 2x4. These were bigger, the studs, and the seals under the house. It was completely dry under the house. So it was a good purchase. It was a really good purchase. And real quick, and I know this is a little bit off subject, but you and Shannon decided to add what'd you put on top of the house?
Solar panels.
Solar panels. Yep, there you go. And how has that worked out for you?
It is night and day, the difference. We were going from last summer paying like $400 something for an electricity bill. And,
400.
Oh yeah, I mean it was hot during the summer and it's cold during the winter. But I mean we've cut almost $200-300 a month off.
Now, a lot of that was insulation or the lack of
a
insulation.
majority of that was lack of insulation.
And the windows.
And the ductwork, which we got fixed underneath the house as well.
Yeah, we found that you were heating more of the crawl space than you were of the house, but got all that fixed.
Oh yeah, we did.
But the solar panel, I want to go back to these solar panels. You said now it's costing you. Last month?
Last month, we're looking at around $200, but we were only paying $24 in electricity because of the solar panels and $200 in gas.
So you're using the gas.
So we used the fireplace a lot. My wife tends to be cold often, so you have to please the wife.
Well, she's expecting right now, so she can
do whatever she wants.
Yeah, and going to. So, because she's got my grandchild, and yeah, she can have whatever she wants, certainly for the time being. Yeah. But so, would you say the solar panels were a good investment? Do you feel good?
I think so. And we use Sunrun, and there wasn't any money we had to put down or nothing. The only thing we do right now is pay $114 to them a month on top of whatever the electricity bill.
So $114 plus $25 last month
for electricity. Which still we're saving $200 from what we were spending a year ago.
Well, that's good. So anyway, a lot of options that we can look at and try to help you with. And, if you're thinking about buying a house, give us a call. We'd love to help you. In fact, Joseph does a really good job of taking you around, showing you the houses, pointing out certain things. But the thing is, especially if you're going to be looking at a fixer-upper, you've got to have an open mind.
Yep, and coming from someone with personal experience, I think the two keys to any kind of wanting to invest in anything are patience and vision, which I had neither. Thankfully, my beautiful wife had patience because I sure don't, and she still does because we're still fixing up the house, and then vision, which thankfully my mom has because neither I nor Frankie have vision or patience. Well,
you just speak for yourself. I have everything I need, but you're right. You got to have the patience because it's going to take a little bit of time, but you got to be able to see what it could, not what it is, but what it could be. And I'm going to tell you that's a lot easier said than done, because we have buyers that come and say they want a fixer-upper. But as soon as you show it to them, they won't even go in and look at the house. They're like, oh, no, this is just too much work.
Oh, yeah.
Look, there's going to be some sweat equity there, but I'm telling you, it's usually not nearly as bad as it looks. And as long as you've got the good bones, now if you walk into a house and you start seeing foundation problems, that's where you could really sink some money and maybe even lose money. So, but we've looked at enough houses, we've been in enough houses, we've seen these issues before, and we can help you with that kind of stuff and identify certain potential issues, and make sure that you have a really good, a solid investment. Well, if we can help you, you contact us. You can find all our information on frankiegriffin.com. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next Friday with more Success in Real Estate.